wood chips, sawdust, old hay, corn fodder, peanut hulls, any kind of carbon you can imagine. And then as we put that in, we add corn to it. The cows are tromping out with their heavy hooves, they're tromping out the oxygen, and this bedding pack as it grows is anaerobic, it's fermenting. That corn in there ferments, so when the cows come out and start grazing again in the spring, this deep bedding pack is full of fermented corn, which then the pigs go in, and the pigs then seek the fermented corn, and in doing so, they aerate it. So they go like a big egg beater through and turn and invert, aerate all this material so that it becomes a huge compost pile. And then that compost we spread. So here we are again, standing here amid hundreds of tons of manure and urine. What do you smell?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right. If anything, it just smells like, soil, like humus, like moldy leaves. Okay. And so this becomes multiple use: hay storage, cow feeding, pig-aerating, compost, fertilizer. So you have multiple use out of the structure, and it serves multiple animals, multiple functions throughout the sea. It's a multiple use kind of structure. So the beauty of making compost this way is that we're using appreciating infrastructure to do the work. The pigs don't need their oil change. They don't need spare parts. And what a retirement program, when you're done with them, you eat them. You don't have to worry about social insecurity or anything else. And all pigs have a wonderful sign on their forehead. If you look at them real closely, there's a sign on the pig's forehead that says, "We'll work for corn." And so they do all this work while we do tours and read books and do other projects. We don't even have to steer them or drive them or anything, and we're buying infrastructure for $100 and selling it for $1,000. That's the way I like to buy things. One of the reasons farms have had to get big in order to stay in business is because when all of your infrastructure depreciates and your infrastructure dependent, you have to generate a lot of capital in order to recapitalize the infrastructure that rusts, and depreciates. But if you're using appreciating infrastructure, the profitability, you ready for this? The profitability is size neutral. If you're using appreciating infrastructure, your profitability is size neutral because you don't have to capitalize the overheads. Okay? So the average farm in America, it takes $4 worth of depreciable infrastructure, not counting land. $4 worth of depreciable infrastructure to turn $1 in annual gross sales. Here, it takes 50 cents to $1. That's an 800% difference between capitalization and gross sales. What about energy? Looked at a couple years ago when energy spiked. We did an energy audit. We read the average farm in America. Half of their expenditures are energy, fuel. We said, well, wonder what ours are. We're running these distribution trucks. We're delivering, going to restaurants, all this stuff. Man, I wonder what ours is. So we did an audit. Ours was less than 5% fuel. Okay? So however you want to look at it, it works from a profitability ecological standpoint. And the final thing I'll just say about the pigs is that the pigs are not being asked here to do something that they don't like to do. Suddenly now the pigs are not just bacon and pork chops. They are co-laborers, fellow ministers in this great land healing ministry. See, it completely changes the relationship and the spiritual partnership that we have here. And it fully honors the pig. You see, we live in a culture that doesn't ask if it's important whether the pig is happy or not. The only question is, can we grow them faster, fatter, bigger, cheaper? And so we have fundamentally a mechanical view of life. And I would suggest that a culture that views its life, its plants and animals, from a mechanical, inanimate, protoplasmic worldview will view its citizens in the same manipulative, dominating, condescending, egocentric view and other cultures the same way. Whoa. So suddenly, it's how we honor the least of these that creates an ethical framework on how we honor the greatest of these. If we want a culture that honors the Maryness of Mary and the Tomness of Tom, it starts with one that honors the pigness of the pig and the tomato-ness of the tomato. Questions?
How often do you rotate the pigs from the field to here? And
how often do we rotate the pigs from the field to the hill? Okay, the pig-aerating here, we're right at the end of it. They've been in here for 2 months, and they're done. This weekend, all the pig-aerating will be done, and there won't be any more pigs doing any more pig-aerating until next spring.
So they're going to the butcher, right?
No, they're going out. They're going out to the field. They're going out. These guys. Yeah. So we have. I mean, right now we have about 600 hogs. So the pig pasture that you saw is one of like 14 pig pastures. Okay, that's one of 14 groups that are out there, you know, doing their things. And these guys will join. We have some that aren't being used that are ready to receive these guys when they get done with their work here.
Is corn all that they eat, or do they also have other?
Corn is the only food stuff that's in there. However, pigs love fermented things. So there are fermented, you know, hay spots and different things that they eat along with that.
You don't do additional feed other than what's
We don't do any feed except what's in there. That's right. That pushes them to go ahead and work, to do their work. Otherwise, they just become lazy. Yeah.
What do you do with the material after they're through pig-aerating?
Well, when we're done with the pig-aerating, then that goes on the field. So this is our fertilizer. This is our entire fertilizer budget and the whole fertilizer program.
Manure spreader?
Yeah, in a manure spreader. Yeah, and we spread it on the fields. Yeah, and that's all we've used for 55 years. We've never bought a bag of chemical fertilizer or anything.
How many inches have you increased your?
How many inches? I don't know. I don't know, but I know like where we turned around up here at the broilers, that field had 2 large quarter-acre rock shale. You know, when I was a kid, bare rock, no grass, no plants, no nothing. Today it's got, you know, about 10 inches of soil on it. Wow. You know, well, it's not 3 feet, but it's better than none. Yeah. And it's growing. And I hope you know, some of you maybe noticed the amount of clover that was in there. We've never planted a clover seed, never. Okay. All you have to do is create a habitat to allow the good stuff to proliferate, and it'll proliferate. I think they all talk to each other and say, "We have a lover upstairs now. We can terminate. You know, it's okay to come out now. You know." And they talked among each other and go. A lot of these seeds will actually last 1,000 years. The system works extremely well for the earth to not be naked, for the earth to be clothed. I mean, it comes in on the wind, bird, possum, fur, deer, you know, a lot of seeds come in. The seed bank is there. It's up to us to manage in a way that's conducive to the good seeds to proliferate over the bad seeds. Yeah. Maybe one more and we'll call it a day. Yes.
Curious about why you don't raise sheep or goats?
Sheep or goats. Did you see the sheep as we came out from the house right down there? Yeah, that's my grandson Andrew's sheep project, and my grandson Travis's project. His ducks are right next to them. Those are their, you know, we think, you know, about 8 years old is about the time to start a business. We think if you wait till you're 12, it's too late. I started my chickens when I was 10. Daniel started his rabbits when he was 8. Our daughter started her baking business when she was 8. Our grandson started theirs, and Lauren, our little granddaughter, you know, she's 7, and so unbeknownst to us, last year she went out and picked a handful of flowers and goes in the sales building and comes up to a guy and says, I picked a bouquet of flowers. I'm going to sell them for $1. I'm sure your wife would really like these. And if you don't have a wife, I'm sure you know a lady that would like it. Not to be undone, right? I mean, so there you go. You know, entrepreneur in the making, or as we say, entrepreneur. Okay, good. Listen, we're out of time. We have to get back to the house. I will stick around to answer some questions and stuff with you if anybody. other things to answer, but I know people have obligations and schedules, so we honor that. So I'm gonna bid my official adieu here, and we'll get on the wagons and go back to the house. We don't take lightly the fact that you could have been anywhere today except here, and that you came here, and so we honor and appreciate and thank you for taking the time to come and spend it with us. We hope it's been beneficial, encouraging, inspiring, and edifying to wherever you are in your life. And we trust that you'll come back. Remember, every tour is different. You know, right now you didn't see the turkeys today. In about another month, you see turkeys, and the Millennium Feathernet will be out. And you won't see the Pig-aerated because it'll be done. And so everything is changing in a state of flux.